Minecraft's world record is a 701 by runner Drip120, but this is old news, and that's precisely what brings me to today's video. Around January 3rd of 2024, Drip would set a world record that still stands to this day. In fact, this is the only time a 1.16 plus world record has lasted over a year. This beats out Zionox's record, which lasted for 10 months. It's beautiful in a way. Only 2 seconds separates us from a sub 7 speedrun, and who knows when it'll happen. This anniversary of a Minecraft speedrun made me think that it would be a good idea to take a closer look at some of the runs that almost took it down. I've got a few runs here, and I even got an interview with Drip to talk about his world record. I'm rambling on, so let's just start with a quick overview of Drip's run. It starts off like any other top run. Using the pie chart, he finds a buried treasure instantly to get food, materials, and TNT. From here, he blows up a tree to get wood and dirt. A nearby magma ravine lets him enter the nether in just 1 minute and 18 seconds. Immediately faced with the treasure bastion, Drip speed bridges there and starts a pretty standard route. While collecting gold, he noticed a fortress in his peripheral vision. Checking his trades, he is pretty much set with plenty of pearls, fire res, and string. He even gets 11 obsidian, which combined with the chest brings him to 21. Thanks to this, Drip is leaving the bastion at just 308. Here comes probably the one major mistake of the run. His second pearl to the fortress undershot and ended up leaving him at the bottom of the pillar. This cost him around 7 seconds, but nonetheless, he's out of fortress at an incredible pace. After going 6 for 9 on rods, he sets a portal down and measures the distance to the stronghold. Arriving at the corresponding nether coordinates, Drip is in the stronghold at 523, which was the record at the time. Using preemptive, his stronghold navigation is perfect, and he's in the end before 6 minutes even passes. Something else to note is that Drip had 6 explosives, meaning he could have gone for a 0 cycle. I understand that the nerves probably would have made it impossible, but it is something to consider. Regardless, it didn't matter all too much considering the dragon perched at 638. 5 bets later, Drip would claim first place with a time of 7 minutes and 1 second. An incredibly clean run played by a great player. But you probably already knew everything about this run, so I think it would be good if we moved on and talked about the first run that almost took Drip's record down. This is Marin's 522 stronghold. Am I saying that right? A run 17 days after Drip that beat out his stronghold record by 1 second. This run undeniably has mistakes. The overworld is standard. Map is buried treasure and a magma ravine get Marin in at 125. The nether is where things get interesting. Immediately faced with the stables bastion, Marin goes for a risky triple chest route. I say risky because it relies on getting everything you need from 4 gold blocks and whatever chests are at the top. Since I'm talking about it, you obviously know he gets everything he needs. Except Marin only gets 12 obsidian, which isn't enough to double travel. This actually isn't that big of a problem in this situation though. A technique known as home portal pretty much uses your portal into the nether as a first portal. Since his fortress is so close to the home portal, he can just use that instead. This is made even easier with a pearl hang, which suspends a pearl in unloaded chunks that a runner can reload to teleport to whenever needed. As a little side note, we see this in NoFear's former world record. Well, here's where things go wrong. Marin messes the pearl hang up not once, but twice, costing him 15 seconds. The first time, he didn't lower his render distance enough, thus not unloading the pearl. The second time, he paused just before the pearl landed but accidentally clicked advancements instead of options. And fun fact, you actually can't get out of the advancements tab without fully unpausing. Because of this, he wasn't able to pause again in time and ended up back at the pearl. But hey, third time's a charm and he's in at 326. Another mistake happens here and he gets hit by a wither skeleton, leaving him at just half a heart. Some more good luck and Marin goes 5 for 6 on blaze rods. But don't you need 12 eyes to fill in a portal? Well, Marin's gonna high roll that the portal has 2 eyes filled in, a 34.1% chance. He measures the stronghold and finds his way there at 522, beating out Drip by 1 second. This is where things yet again go wrong. This stronghold causes Marin some problems as he isn't able to find the portal room until 602, killing this run's chance of a world record. Marin at least tries to get a PB, but here's where another thing goes wrong. Marin is attempting a 0 cycle with 6 explosives. The dragon flies back, which means he has to hurry up. Unfortunately, he was just slightly off and couldn't get a good first bed, which pretty much sealed the deal. This run failed to be completed and let Drip keep his record another day. In a world where the misplays never happened, this run is easily a sub 7. Obviously, Marin is a great player and nerves were a huge factor, but it's interesting to imagine what this run could have been. Moving on is the player with the most sub 10s. It's unsurprising that Minecraft's biggest grinder would end up with a crazy pace, so let's talk about Skycrab's 519 stronghold. You'd probably get sick of this if I went over every detail, so I'll just talk about the highlights. This run featured a housing bastion, widely considered to be the best type due to its speed and consistency. Something else to note is the fortress. Similar to Marin, it didn't involve a blaze spawner, instead relying completely on stray blazes. Skycrab goes 5 for 7 and builds his portal to find the stronghold. But here something very important happens. Since he was measuring his eye over water, it fell into the ocean. Skycrab decided to leave it since it would cost him too much time to retrieve it. You'll see how this plays out later. Back in the nether, he kills 3 additional blazes but only gets 1 rod, thus bringing his total eyes to 11. This is fine. I mean, the chance of a 1 eye or greater is 71.8%. We've seen plenty of runs rely on a 2 eye and they turned out fine. Yeah, you know what happened. Yep, on the fastest pace ever, Skycrab got unlucky and found himself staring down a 0-eye end portal. The worst part is that he was even able to do a 0 cycle on this seed. If this portal had 1 eye, there's a very high chance that the world record would have been around 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Once again, Drip's record was protected. So many things could have gotten better. His portal could have not gotten the 28.2% chance of a 0 eye, he could have gotten luckier than 6 or 10 on blaze rods, or maybe he could have sacrificed the time and retrieved the eye from the ocean. Which, if I can just chime in with my opinion, I 100% think that leaving the eye in the ocean was the correct play. You can say that's wrong in hindsight, but it ultimately came down to this seed giving him the worst possible luck at the very end. Oh, also, I need to mention that Skycrab is insane. 9 out of 10 runners would have reset the seed here, but Skycrab is different. Instead, he continued the run. This meant going back to the Nether Fortress for an additional rod and returning to the stronghold. Even with this, he managed to finish the game in under 9 minutes, which is a time that I could only dream of. Skycrab is incredibly good at this game, and it's great to know that this run didn't destroy his confidence. There's just 2 more to talk about that aren't as noteworthy as the previous one, so I'll be quick with it. First is Paplerr's 533 Stronghold. This run is unique for a few reasons. First off, out of the runs I've talked about, this one has the slowest first portal of 503 because of some unlucky trades. It, however, makes up for this by having an absolutely insane blind travel distance of only 134 blocks. Unfortunately, the portal room wasn't exposed in the ocean, and, well, the run ended here. Paplerr was unable to find the portal room and ended the run. Next is NoHacsJustRoblox's 534 Stronghold. I'm just gonna say Roblox. This run isn't the world record for 2 main reasons. The first is the distance to the stronghold. 2,000 blocks is an insane time waster even with nether travel. The other reason is the end fight. Making it into the end at 5:55 with a potential 0 cycle could have finished the run at around the 6 minute 45 second mark. However, this game did not make it easy. Spawning underground, Roblox needed to mine 4 blocks to pearl through the roof. However, he was barely too quick to switch to the pearl and messed up the pearl clip. This pretty much killed any chance of a 0 cycle. Thanks to this, the run is now in the fate of the dragon perching. However small, this run did have a chance of a world record, but that quickly faded away as the dragon perched at 7 minutes. On a lighter note, this run did finish with a time of 7:22, which at the time of recording is second on the leaderboard. Overall, these runs were probably the closest to dethroning Drip. There might be some I'm missing, so let me know. I think I've talked enough, so let's take some time to hear from the world record holder himself. What is up? Thanks for doing this, by the way.
No problem.
I guess we can just start then. So how'd you get into speedrunning?
I was playing during lockdown. I was playing an SMP with my Fortnite friend group.
That was like 2020, yeah?
Yeah. And then like late 2020, like October, November. And I discovered, like, I was on Twitch just looking in the Minecraft category, and I like started watching this guy who was finished like speedrunning Minecraft, but it was like very early, so it was like definitely classic times.
Yeah, the world record was like a sub 20, barely.
Yeah, he was doing it in 50 minutes. Like, okay, that's gonna be boring. But then he actually PB'd with like a 35 minutes, then at 32 minutes, and then at 27. And I was like, I wanna try doing this, and I just did.
What was your first PB?
I had like 2 of them. Basically, one was like a run of around 40 minutes. I was just doing in call with a friend, but I like didn't have a timer or was recording. And my first recorded PB was live stream on Twitch. It was like a 24:03. I feel like my PB progression is kinda crazy.
I think so too. I think having a world record in your PB progression is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so your PB before the world record was a 950. Did you expect to cut that down almost 3 whole minutes?
I mean, obviously I wasn't, but at the time I did have 2 sub 7 indenters, which were like in the top 15 fastest indenters, I think. So, and one of them was a 643, I'm pretty sure. The world record being 745. So with a very good dragon perch, I could have already gotten the record there, but I just got 13xx or something on that one.
So you knew you had like potential around that time to get a world record.
I feel like I did.
How much Minecraft were you playing around this time?
Okay, it's a lot because it was January, and it was like, I've said this many times, it was like my last year of school, and that was like my only like big break before I actually had to like focus on school. I played like 8 hours a day for like 2 weekends. I mean, it wasn't like actually 8 hours, but I played a lot. And then I was like, I need to like get a PB like this winter break, and then I'm gonna like calm down and play less, you know?
Hey, your grind did pay off, so I'm gonna start talking more about the run itself. At what point did you start to think that this could be the world record, or did that even like come up in your mind?
It's kind of funny because since it's like a fast-paced one, obviously, like you don't have like the time to like look at the timer between like blaze cycles or anything. And I was in the end, and that was like the actual time I actually got to like watch the timer, like after setting up the oven and crafting beds. And I unmuted and said, "Wait, I got world record and enter, I think." I was in call with like one or two friends. I don't remember.
So you were just like focused in the whole time.
Yeah, and that's also because on my first sub 7 and enter, the 656, I started like looking at chat while waiting for a purge, and I choked a sub 9.
What moment are you the most proud of during your run?
I mean, I think just not choking.
That's a fair point.
There is not really like anything that special, I guess.
That's a good answer, because I mean it's not something that you would really expect anyone to say, but it is something to consider. When you look at this past year, how many
Yeah.
runs were so close to beating your time, it's all because maybe like they got unlucky or they just choked one thing,
Yeah.
but you managed to just keep your composure and finish the run. What is your biggest regret looking back at the run?
Okay, this is gonna be a picky one.
Okay.
My fire charges weren't in the top left slot of the inventory, and that lost me like some time because I was kind of nervous of course, and it took me like a second to find them, and it would have been sub 7 probably.
Dang, that's an interesting way of looking at it, because like I definitely would have assumed that you would have said the fortress pearl, but I guess like when the times get so low, these runners are more nitpicky about like every little
Yeah.
thing.
Every little time save is good.
You've held the record for over a year, which is longer than anyone else ever has. How does it feel?
I mean, again, it feels good, but it's, I don't know. I don't know how to express it. It's like, I think it's gonna be more important when someone actually beats it.
Who do you think has a good chance of getting the next record?
I mean, I got asked this question on the MCSR Awards 2024. I said Griffin and Pap because I know they're good, and Griffin is like very good and also like grinds a lot. But then I think also Jason has a good chance to get it.
So what's your opinion on calculators? Because if you started in 2020, then you were around for the calculator debate, and then you obviously like use it in your run because they're pretty much needed. But do you think that they were healthy for the game?
I think I don't know, they're cool, but I think multi-instance could be worse than calculators, because like if you still can't reset that fast but you have calculators, like the blinds where you don't hit the blind are still gonna be there, but like reset efficiency is still like is always gonna get better and better. I think maybe that's just me. Before seed queue, every like little change, like even if you like help the people with low instances, the people with high instances can still do more and more. So it was like so stupid for me.
So your run obviously had the controversy of almost not getting verified due to an, at the time, illegal mod. Looking back on
Yeah.
the whole situation, what do you think about it?
I mean, it kind of was my mistake, but again, the low like amount of people who watched me at the time, or maybe knew me at the time, they know how frustrating it was. It was like every time, I don't know, every 10 minutes I was getting an instance crash, and like when you're playing RSG, if you're like in the zone, you're focused, like that's so bad for you.
Mm-hmm. I heard it was pretty much like unplayable.
Yeah, and then I tried some mods that didn't work, and then I found this. I used it for like 1 or 2 sessions. I removed it, and then I got like the kind of incident that some people know of 12 instances crashing at the same time.
Do you think you could have maybe tried to help get the mod verified?
I mean, I didn't really do much, I think, because I don't want to have like any beef or problems with people in the community. Again, people said this mod wasn't like very known to people, but as long as it was in the Java code, I think it was like, it was there. It just was there. If you didn't see it, it's not my fault.
I mean, they got verified in the end, so it all worked out.
Yeah.
What are your goals for this game in the future? Do you plan on running like different categories, trying to get a better time? I see you've been playing more ranked recently. Any goals with that?
Most people think that like beating it would be cool, and it obviously would. I don't know. It would take so much time, and I don't know. Even if I had that time, I wouldn't do it, I think. Because like I lost kind of like the passion I had to grind RSG.
I kind of understand that, because I can see how grinding RSG would get kind of boring, especially when the time is so fast, because you'd have to be resetting for every little thing. Do you just find it boring at this point?
I mean, I haven't played RSG since August 2024. I've been having fun playing ranked sometimes because even if I lose, like I can read chat, I can talk to chat, like in between games, and I think that's just perfect.
Do you have a goal with ranked?
I think making it to playoffs for now.
What do you believe is in the future of this game? Like, how many years do you think it has left? What's the final minute barrier?
About the final minute barrier, I think like sub 7 is achievable, and every time is achievable, but as long as there is no sub 5, sub 6, like we don't know that's possible, you know?
How many years do you think RSG has left, and do you think that ranked will outlast it?
Ranked will definitely outlast it. It's like when I think about it, it's like, should I actually focus on Minecraft right now, or is it gonna be dead in 2 years and nobody cares about it? That's like a question I ask myself every time. A weird question. I don't really have an answer to that. It could just be any time.
These next questions are more for fun.
Okay.
Who's your favorite runner to watch?
Okay, this is weird because in the past I would have said 100% Dougal, but I don't really get to watch him a lot because he just streams like at 3 a.m. my time. But it depends on like mean streamer generally or RSG streamer and ranked streamer. I think my favorite is still Dougal though, honestly.
If you could instantly become the best player of any game, what would you choose?
Oh, okay. Some people know in MCSR by now that I also play Fortnite in my free time, and sometimes, like actually before this interview, I was playing Fortnite, and I think that would be the game. Cause it's like, I think it's like the best like esport game. I don't know.
I think Fortnite's a great answer because that game has a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
Do you have any hidden talents you can think of off the top of your head?
During middle school, I was playing the piano for like 3 years, but then I stopped because I had to go to high school, and I decided to go to a school that was economy based, so economy, maths, and all those kind of subjects. But I think I'm a good driver. Right now, that's maybe my only talent. It took me like 6 months to get my driving license. I feel like I learned pretty fast.
I just have one last question. This one's stupid. If you could cast
Sure.
a curse on one runner to give them the worst RNG possible, who would it be and why?
Okay, that's funny. I don't know. I mean, I think I would be happy to see the world record beaten. So I don't want to give the worst RNG possible to anyone. But if I had to like actually choose one, I would probably choose like one of my friends,
That's funny.
because like it would be kind of funny maybe.
It's fine. We can just cast the curse on Curryway. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's every question I have. Thanks for doing this
Yeah.
again.
Thank you for having me.
In case you couldn't tell, a lot of the background footage during the interview was me trying to rerun Drip's world record seed faster than the actual run. This was actually really hard, even knowing everything about the world beforehand. And it just goes to show how good these top runners are. After 35 attempts, I finally got a sub 7, but only barely. The amount of things that need to go right in a speedrun for a world record is insane. Seriously, the dedication these guys have is nothing to scoff at. Alright, that's the end. Bye bye. Oh wait, I have one more question I just kind of thought of about your run.
Yeah. The zero cycle.
Yeah, were you like aware you had zero cycle materials?
Nope.
Would you have gone for it?
No, I don't think so.